All right, I think we're recording. Oh, we are, okay. So, today we're going to talk about governance. Governance. Because I can't spell, remember? So, governance. So, I thought a perfect way to talk about governance was to discuss what's going on in politics today in Washington, D.C. Yikes is right. Okay. So, what is going on in politics today, and why is it so dangerous for democracy? Anybody? Okay. So we have the president. He's not my president, but he's supposedly the president. He got it by lying and cheating, okay? We have the House of Representatives. And we have the Senate. And we have the courts. Okay. So, what essentially do they all are supposed to have in common?
They work for the people.
Well, yeah, they do work for the people, but
They're all enacting policy. I mean, they all should be making policy.
yeah, but it's what they're based on. Why do we not? Well, I won't say speed, but why do normal people not go out and just shoot a gun at somebody? What is that about?
Ethics?
Pardon?
Ethics?
For following the law.
Laws, okay, so rule of law, okay? So rule of law is what governance is based upon, right? So if we go to a country like China, is there a rule of law there? Pardon?
There should be.
Okay, although they have a different type of, okay. If we go to Germany, do we have a rule of law there? Okay. If we go to Somalia, do we have rule of law there?
Probably
Yes. There should be.
Okay. Is this the same rule of law that we have in the United States?
not.
No. Okay. What's the difference?
People don't follow it in Somalia.
People don't follow it?
Capacity to enforce it.
That might be the case, capacity to enforce it. Capacity to enforce. What else might be a reason why it's not the same?
The laws are just different.
Okay.
The types of government are very different as
Okay.
well.
Types of government is probably the bigger thing. Types of government. So, if we are supposed to be following the rule of law, and that may change based on what society you live in, obviously, what is so dangerous about what's going on in our country today?
Isn't it like against the Constitution?
Well, it's a question of whether or not he is following the rule of law. And I'm going to say no. Because essentially, he is deciding that he is going to usurp what the other branches of governments are doing because he feels he has absolute power. So recently, the Commerce Department was trying to put a question on the census that's coming up for 2020. And the question they were trying to put on was whether or not you're a citizen or not. Okay? So, what is that really sort of designed to do?
Potentially screen like people who are
Right,
not legally here.
right. It's the idea of maybe we're going to disaffect a whole large group of people, and consequently they will not be represented in our government. Because the census affects how many House seats are available, it affects how the districts are drawn, it affects a whole lot of things, okay? So, the Supreme Court ruled that, they didn't rule that it was unconstitutional, they just ruled that it was not appropriate at this time, and they sent it back to the lower court, which had basically said, no, you can't put this on the census, okay? So what does our stupido-in-chief say to that?
Executive order.
Executive order, okay? So what does an executive order do?
It bypasses all of that.
Right, it bypasses
The
what
process.
their rules, and their rules, okay? But someone can come along and challenge the executive orders, which they're gonna do, if that's the case, okay? So, why is rule of law important? Pardon?
It was agreed upon by our founding fathers.
Well, rule of law has been around way before our founding fathers. Probably England was the one who had rule of law, okay? The reason why it's important is because it's the basis of our law-abiding society, okay? So, how does governance play into all of this?
Isn't governance like working with different bodies? Isn't it supposed to be like working with different people to, working with society, working with the government?
Yes, it does, but it actually has more to do with how we do that. Meaning, okay, I could be a corporation, and I can work with, I can work with an organization over here, or government over here, but I can have all these side deals that are not, that are frowned upon or that are counter to governance law, okay? So every corporation, every government has rules that they use that they govern by. So one of the rules is you can't just come into my house and illegally search and then seize whatever I have in my house unless you have a search warrant from a judge, right? It's a pretty important thing. Could you imagine